According to Abby, a misunderstanding over camera rolling led to an argument between Femi Branch, allegedly insulting and physically assaulted him. The crew stood their ground, demanding an apology before continuing with the shot at the Lekki Conservation Center. The executive producer had to intervene, and production only resumed after Femi Branch eventually apologized to both the crew and the AD.
That's a crazy one. I remember watching the video on social media when I think Femi Branch got into his car. I didn't see the video of the slap. Yes, I know.
We didn't watch the slap.
I didn't watch the slap, but I saw the aftermath. And Mr. Femi was insisting on that he had to leave. I think they locked the gate of the conservation center that he couldn't leave. That because he hadn't completed his shoot, and they didn't let him leave. And he was complaining that they needed to let him leave since he was being insulted and everything. But I must say that it's very important that we understand that everybody has rights. I think it is very wrong to slap or assault anybody physically. The person, even if it is not wrong to slap somebody else, maybe the person works for you, feel like you have some right over the person. The person can sue you for assault in Nigeria. It's because people are not doing these things, so a lot of people are getting away with it. I don't understand the scenario that the circumstances that led to him, assaulting another person, another adult, when it's not your child or daughter, be your child, daughter or son. I don't think it's right for anybody to assault anybody. I don't think violence is the answer at any point. But sometimes tempers can flare, and everybody. I like the fact that he apologized, and production continued, because if production had stopped, right, we both know what it will cost. It will cost to have a pickup shoot or something after. It will have been a disaster for both the producer, the actors whose time was bought. It would have been horrible for everybody. So I am glad that he apologized, and I hope that the insulted person and the assaulted person, can make their differences. They can settle all differences and come back and reconcile. So.
For me, I think it extends just beyond set issues like crew lives matter. Even in the office, if you have some form of advantage over the next person, even a messenger in your office is a person. They have their duties, and if they stop those duties, there will be a stop in flow of whatever of normal flow in the office.
It's the idea that we see some people as inferior.
So I just feel that it's a general. We as people should see ourselves as equals, especially when it comes to work. Everybody has their roles. Just because you are the main actor doesn't mean you are better.
You can decide that you don't want to be part of the shoot anymore, that you want to maybe refund their money or something.
And at that level, respected film, actor like Femi Branch, I would expect some form of maturity. I don't know what happened, but assaulting someone is extreme. That's anger issues, man. Sort it out, bro.
Maybe not anger issues. Maybe that day there was provocation.
Or somebody was. Someone was waiting on the other end, but let's go on. When you're hurrying to meet somebody,
I think it was because he felt insulted that he wanted to leave. I don't think it was because I don't think the slap happened because he wanted to leave. I think it was after the entire scenario that he wanted to leave, because I heard the guy in the video saying that but it was me that was slapped now, that let's continue the shoot, and Mr. Branch was insisting that he wanted to go. He got into his car that he wants to leave, that there are this false imprisonment or something like that. And I kept thinking, if you have slapped somebody, you're not claiming false imprisonment. Let the people that were slapped not come to and claim something else. It's better to settle this thing and make it.
And if you think about it again, he's only one person. If the crew members had come together in some form of,
they were grumbling in the video already.
It's just one person. They can decide to assault him back. In their hands. So when you notice some things that come on and be now, leave me there here. You run for your life first. You can go and shout on social media, but be out of that place, please. So please, I believe all these things can be settled amicably. Go on.
So veteran Nigerian filmmaker Kunle Afolayan has issued a stern warning on social media, calling out content creators and bloggers for spreading false information about him. In a recent Instagram reel posted on his page, the award-winning director said, "Get your facts right before you talk about anyone or drop your content. Don't drop fake news or information just because you need traffic on your page. Be warned." While he didn't mention specific names or platforms, the message comes amid recent rumors and controversial posts making the rounds online.
I mean, when you're in the spotlight, a goldfish has no hiding place, right?
And comes with the turf.
And even him himself, he tries. All these things make up who people see him as, and how they accept him, and how he's marketable and all of that. If nobody, Two-Face sang, if nobody talks about you, then you're nobody. At that level, even we as journalists, for instance, we have to develop thick skin, because we write about people, and then when it's about us, when we are put in the spotlight, we feel some kind of ways, like fish out of water. So I feel for him, he should know that this is when you want to play the big field, like you are constantly in the public eye, you should expect that
some hits and attacks.
And especially now that everybody can film anybody. We saw what happened with a pastor, and a stun gun. You understand? It should, people say he shouldn't have wound out the mirror of his car. If he didn't bring down the window of his car, nobody would have known who it was now, Abby. So when you're at that level and you're in the public eye, you should expect that, this sort of thing.
Sometimes these things hit you, even though that it comes with the tough, it's expected. Sometimes these things hit you differently. You might be going through something. Celebrities and public figures are human beings too. And sometimes you're just having a bad day, and then something just hits you in a bad spot, and then you think, why should this be happening? So I like the fact that he came out to talk about it and say that everybody should be careful, because the day he's going to come out too and come and sue somebody, I want them to sue somebody. Let somebody go, so that at least there's some. You remember there was a time that we did a story at one time, and a blogger like that picked it up, and then refashioned it and turned. In fact, when I saw the story, I was like, no, this is not the story that we wrote, because we did the interview together. I remember we did that interview in the Bode, I think, in the Bode. We came back to Lagos, published the interview, and this blogger picked it, went in, dug deep into the interview and recooked it, and he looked at it, and I was like, no.
He said it after we left.
He said it after we left. This is because this is not what was said. So we're in the age of content, and so everybody's getting content, whether legally or illegally. And it now goes on to people to protect themselves, develop thick skin, yes, but also protect yourself. If people know that you won't take shit, they will not. They won't come and write shit about you.
And I would also, talk to the other side, which is the content creators. Please, let's have sense. You understand? There's something called privacy for a reason. Because when the like she said, sue, when the spotlight is now on you, how would you feel? When they sue you for the shirts on your back, you have
nowhere to hide.
You have nowhere to hide. You will understand the impact of what.
And not everybody is anonymous.
Yes.
People think that because you're on social media, you are anonymous. It's not always. You can't. If people want to get you, they'll find you. They will find you.
I would want to plead with our content creators. We know that content is the new crude oil. Please and please, let's have sense. Let's know that there are times for these kind of things. If they're in a public space, so for instance, I see videos of celebrities in parties eating, and then people are putting phones in their faces, trying to capture how they are eating and all of that. For me,
maybe it's to market the food. Maybe the vendor that bought the food.
You understand?
It's wrong.
It is
not everybody
wrong.
will endorse your.
It is wrong. There are times I want to be by myself. There are some foods I want to eat my corn in peace. I don't want you thinking.
And corn is not a good thing to eat.
You understand?
By the time you're eating it's all over your
I might just be in my car eating my corn, and somebody is trying to video me in my car, eating corn just because you feel it will be corn. That is invasion of privacy. And I think until even our House of Assembly, our politicians take this seriously, and they make laws, policies that actually, defray people from, invading on other people's privacy, we have to take strict measures to ensure that we stopgap these things, because it's going to get worse.
All right, moving on. So Senator Ned Nwoku has slammed activist Omoyele Sowore over defamatory claims involving his wife Regina Williams. In a viral reel, Nwoku called Sowore and his ally and said the case is now in court. He warned that cyberbullying would not stop justice. We're literally still talking about
I know these are two big fishes talking, so I think somebody needs to listen. That's all I'm going to say about this, because it's a very dicey issue.
So thing is, even if you have information about someone, people just go to social media now and try to, court of public justice or something like that. See, we need
court of public opinion.
Court of public opinion. Thank you. You do not. Well, someone needs to listen, and someone needs to sue somebody. When somebody is sued and they are made to pay billions,
that they don't have.
you know, you will understand the consequences. You understand?
All right. Nollywood actor Daniel Etim Effiong recently revealed that his father, Lieutenant Colonel Moses Effiong, was jailed in 1986 over alleged involvement in the Vasta coup during General Babangida's rule. Despite his innocence, he spent years in prison after receiving a presidential pardon. The experience deeply shaped the actor's perspective of justice, family, and resilience.
Yeah, I remember seeing the post by Daniel, and I thought that I didn't even know his father was in the military to start with. And I remember that there were a lot of people there were a lot of controversies surrounding the Vatak code, the Mama Vatak. I'm sure that you don't know what that is.
I'm going to read up on it.
I'm sure a lot of people do not know what that code. In fact, let me not talk about it. Now let's just not talk about it. There's some things that should, but really that coup had a lot of controversies, and a lot of things were coming to light later on after the, you know. And I'm glad that at least his father didn't die in the process, you know, and that he can live to talk about it, and he can, you know, share that, at least he learned from the experience. So if people come out to talk about what they experienced or what they've gone through, what their family went through during the military rule, there's a lot of stories, but we are thankful that at least it shaped the Daniel we know today, who has become a fantastic actor.
Yes, sir.
And his wife is also she's also doing a lot for Nollywood. You know, she's one of, I think she's the one that is taking
film outside America,
taking Nollywood, not just film now,
Nollywood
to the New Orleans film festival, and she's been doing that for about 4 years now, I think. And she also manages a lot of talent with that good media, and she's doing very good work. So we're glad that we got a good person out of the experience. So
I would also only advise Daniel, this is a movie waiting to be produced, so please turn your pain to money.
Expressed regret over her support for President Bola Tinubu during the 2023 elections. In a recent interview, she cited the country's worsening economic situation and increasing hardship as reasons for her disappointment. She admitted that many Nigerians, including herself, are now struggling and feel let down by the administration's performance so far.
I think we today has been a lot about the economy, the worsening situation, the fact that it has led a lot of people to crime, and I think I understand for Folokede Aramola's pain. I get her grouse. You know, when you support a candidate into office as a public figure or a public face, you support a candidate, and the candidate seems to be not doing the opposite of what you want, what you expect. I think that I understand that pain, but like some other people would say, let's wait and see. Maybe there really is a plan, because I don't know. Maybe Roy has Roy is eating in this administration.
For me, right? Yeah, fine. There's a bad economy out there. Everybody's feeling it.
There's a bad economy. The economy is not great.
It's bad, and it's bad, and it's not looking like it's gonna get better.
Let's not say it's bad. It's not great.
It's not great, and it doesn't look like it would get better any soon. But for Folokede Aramola's Salako's pain is Eniola Badmus's testimony. See, depending on where you are looking at it from, Eniola Badmus is not going to tell you, or this anti-commissioner in Osun, Laide Bakare.
Oh my God!
They will not tell you the same story, because I would say that if Auntie Foluke was an essay somewhere, she will not be saying this.
But she's not an essay. How many people are essays?
So somebody's pain. So during the last administration, some people's pain was some people's happiness. Now that it depends on what's facing you at the moment. So
and life is trying.
Find a socket and plug yourself. That's how Nigeria will work for you. Find a way. So what I tell people is, see, it might not get better. As a matter of fact, it looks like it's gonna get worse.
And we've always been complaining about the economy.
But find a way to make Nigeria work for you. Find a socket and plug yourself. Because if you keep complaining, you would always complain. And in this economy, as worse as it is, some people are making a headway. As a matter of fact, in the last 10 years that we feel that Nigeria has been in the doldrums, it was sinking, was when Afrobeats, Nollywood, got its biggest endorsements. Yeah. So it's working for some people.
But the endorsement came from outside the country.
But it was still in the worst times for the country.
Yeah, true.
So for me, I would just say, find a way to make Nigeria work for you. If not, relocate. Jackpot.
Don't tell people to jackpot.
No, if jackpot will work for you, please jackpot, but make life work for you somehow. You only have one life to live. I tell people, whatever happens to you in this life, just don't die. Just don't die, because when you die, that you have given up. Life can still change for you, but find a way to make it work for you. Because if your focus is complaints, trust me, you would always complain. But if you find a reason to hope for better, there's a way the universe works in your favor. If you want to buy a car and you start seeing it, the moment you start saying this is what I want, you start seeing it.
Sorry, there's one car I saw on your status that I want to buy. I'm seeing it. I'm seeing it. I can see it.
Once you set a date for an event and you start seeing it come to life, it begins to, there's a way you start getting fun, you start getting ideas, ways to, so just find a way to make this country work for you, and God will help you.
And I think that's what Nollywood is doing as an industry. Nollywood has just continued to work, whether the government has created an enabling environment, whether the environment itself has been enabling, they have just continued to just push at it, remain dogged, and do their thing, and somehow it's working. Our movies are getting international recognition. Our stars are getting better. I think one of the persons we are going to be the person we are going to be talking to today is going to talk about, has one person in a film that I don't know, it keeps just getting better. It keeps growing, and I'm just amazed at its growth. So if people like that can keep doing it, you can also do it. It might not work out immediately, but it will work out eventually.
I'll give another example. Cinemas. 3 years ago, we thought cinemas were going to die, especially when the likes of streaming platforms came in. Everybody thought that, okay, cinemas were going down, they were going to die.
We first started from DSTV. Pay TV.
Yeah.
We thought that pay TV was going, it was the end of pay TV.
You understand?
Everybody is still finding their way.
Somehow, look at it, cinemas today, in fact, actors are now going back to the cinemas because they
dancing.
You understand? They are dancing. They are not dancing for their YouTube videos.
People to.
They are dancing for cinema movies because they now see the gold mine that exists for them to tap into. So I would speak. I'm not to discredit anything that Auntie Foluke has said. We get it. We are feeling it. I bought for yesterday at a price. I bought it today at another price. We are all feeling it. You understand? We feel it. But in all of this, let's just.
We can't stop to complain. There's no time to stop and complain.
And then also, please, we must get involved. We must find a way to get involved. I was reading something this morning. They say evil thrives when the righteous keep quiet. When the righteous feel that it doesn't concern me, so we stay on the sidelines and we talk and we tweet and we post. But the people who decide our fate, our collective fate, they are out there. Who is educating them?
Who is engaging
them? They won't know any better because the people who see their worth are the people they put in power. So we that we claim to know better, how are we involved in the process of electing credible leaders? It is enough to just sit behind the camera and say it's not working. But how did you contribute? Where were you? With your social media following, with your followers, what did you do? How did you mobilize them to go and vote? How did you educate them that Nigeria can be better with certain choices?
And Nollywood is our vanguard as a nation. So Nollywood needs to get they have been getting involved. Honestly, they have been doing well. I know a lot of people have been burned. Someone like Foluke now, I feel like she would think that she has been burned because she supported the candidate and the candidate seems not to be doing as well. So she will feel like maybe I shouldn't support anybody again. I know of actors and actresses who have said that they are never going to get involved in politics again or support any candidate or campaign for any candidate. But that's not the way forward. You don't, because something didn't go wrong, you go right this time, and then you just no. The way is to take your learnings and then move on.
My last bit on this is that I would have taken this more seriously if she was in government and said this. You understand? She said she supported the president to get elected into office, but now she's speaking from the outside. The first thought that would come to mind is because you are not enjoying the proceeds personally. If she was in government and she was able to say this, I would take it more seriously. So we want to see more of the people in government, the Eniola Badmoses, the Antilaide Bakari, come out and tell us, is this government working, or are you people just feeding fat on our collective wealth?
It is well.
And that's all on